This is part 3 of the Subnautica series, and I'm going to be modeling this trash can here. And in the next video, we'll do the texturing. Alright, so mine will obviously be a little bit different, but we're going to do this. Here we go. Okay, so here in Blender, I'm going to bring in a circle, and it's going to be 24 vertices. Look down from the top and go into edit mode and 1 for vertex selection. And I'm going to delete those vertices. I'm going to pull this out a little ways and add a mirror. I'm going to turn on clipping and I'm just going to pull that out a little bit. I'm going to grab these 2 vertices and E to extrude, pull them in till they join. Alright, so I have that for the base. Apply that. Okay, F to make a face. I'm going to look from the front and I'm going to extrude. That's not what I wanted to. I'm going to duplicate this up. Scale it in a bit and P to break it out. I'm going to this guy and I'm going to X only faces. I don't want the faces in that. I'm going to pull it down a little bit. Let's look from the top and I'm going to scale it a bit more. Alright, we're going to make the main part of the trash can now. E to extrude, pull up a little ways, something like this. I'm making down here this black part, this base. Okay, so we're going to do that. Let's just see where I'm at. Let's get into Studio and turn this stuff off. And let's go to that guy. Okay, so pull that up a little bit more. Okay, good. I'm going to Shift E to duplicate, pull up again. P to break this piece out here. I'll pull it down a bit. E to extrude, pull up, and I'm going to scale it out a bit like that. And now we're going to make the main body of the trash can. Something like that. Just want to come back to this and see. Okay, I'm making that orange part there. Yeah, that's probably alright. I don't want it too tall. Okay. Okay, Shift D to duplicate again. I'm going to pull up. This is going to be the top, so you got to have room to get the garbage in. So we'll put it there. We can always move that later. Let's break that out. And we have that piece here. So E to extrude, pull up, and then E to extrude, pull up a bit more. Scale it in a little bit. Look from the top. It doesn't scale evenly, so I'll scale this in the Y in a bit. I have to make a face. And that's good. I'm going to go into edge selection number 2 and select these edges. I don't need those. And X, dissolve edges. Then I'm going to Shift Alt and click that one. Control B. Pull till I have 2, and then roll my mouse up 1 more. And put 1 more edge there just to sharpen that up a bit. We can shade smooth that. And for shading issues, we'll put on weighted normal. And normals on smooth. This guy we can go ahead and shade. And this one we can go ahead and shade that. So we have the basic parts so far. Okay, there's going to be a lip on here, so let's take this. Shift D to duplicate it, pull it down, scale it out a little bit. P, and we'll break that out as well. And let's look and see. I think I'm going to scale this in the Y a little bit. Just like that. Okay, let's extrude down. And then take this and E and Alt S and push to push it in like that. And take the whole thing and pull it up. So imagine there's a lip there. There will also be one at the top of this and around here. We'll do that stuff later though. Let's just focus on that itself, and in edge selection number 2, select the edges here. Alright, and Control B, I'll use the same number of segments, just like that. Shade smooth. Now, I may put Control 1 on, depending on what the use is for this, but I'm not going to do that right now. Alright, back here. So we got that. I'm not going to copy it down to here or down to there. We're going to do that later. Okay, so we have that part. Okay, so let's do this though. Let's come in here and take these 2 faces and Shift D to duplicate them and pull them out, and P to break them out. Go back in and select that edge and dissolve it. I don't need that edge. I'm going to look from 3 the side. I'm going to pull this in a bit more. I'm going to go into wireframe and 1. Take these and I'm going to pull them up and just see if it just sort of clears that, and it does. So I'm actually going to bring it in a little closer, and it will cut into this in a little bit. So pull it up to here, E to extrude and just drag it over there, E and just drag it in, but before it gets to the Z, the middle of this, I'm going to add a mirror anyhow. So I'm going to mirror this in the Y, and I'll turn on clipping. And I mean, I could join those now if I want. That doesn't really matter. We'll get back to that in a bit. I'm going to come down here though, box select these ones, and E, and just bring them in like that. Okay, so I have that piece. I'm going to turn that mirror off. I'm going to Alt-N recalculate outside. Sometimes you'll get some polys that are flipped. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to press, I can just go ahead, E and Alt-S. I'm going to pull down, give this some thickness so it looks like it kind of attaches. And that's okay like that. And with that done, because this is going to be mirrored, let's get rid of that face. And then grab the edges. Shift Alt and click the edges in edge selection. And bevel them with the same number of segments. I'm going for 3 these days. Okay. And then Shift Alt and click these ones. And this one down here. We'll come back up here. And we'll bevel those. Control D. Not too much though, because I want it to be kind of sharp, like a panel. And put that back on, see how that would look. But there is another thing we need to do down at the bottom here. This face here. I'm going to bevel that. Grab that face and Control B. And I'll just finish off that piece like that. Okay, so I'm leaving the mirror off because when I UV unwrap this in texture, I'm just going to do one side. The textures are going to be very simple and they won't look like they're repeated. And I'm going to be doing that for this piece, but I'm also going to be doing it for that piece. I'll do that in a moment, and we're almost actually done the modeling. It's very simple, and I like that. I will be doing some more complicated pieces, I think. I like the fact, though, that these are simple and sort of rely on the texture and the environment. But it's fun to do. Okay, so I brought in a cylinder, made it 18, scale that in the Z. We're making sort of hinges or something that would fit on this. And yeah. Let's take the top face and the bottom face and just bevel them quite a bit though, like that. And I'll roll it one more time and shade smooth. And that's all we really need, that kind of thing there. It's so small, Shift D to duplicate it and pull it down here. Now it's a little bit hard to tell where to place this because there's going to be lines here, but it's going to be okay. Before I do anything else, and one is selected, Shift D to duplicate it, pull it down, rotate Y 90, and I'm going to look from the side and I'm going to pull this in till it's about halfway, and these ones just barely stick out, and up to around there, sort of under this. There's going to be a line I'm going to draw in Substance Painter there and another one, so I don't quite know where to place these. I'm just going to do them anywhere, and that's going to be just fine like that anyhow. Alright, let's select something that is central like that, bring the 3D cursor there, and take these and we're going to mirror them in the, what am I doing here? Set the origin to the 3D cursor first. We're going to do that, and let me think for a second here. I think I'm going to go ahead and apply the mirror and join them to that. So when I mirror it on the other side, we'll get them there. And so when it comes to texturing, I'll texture this piece and these things, and I'll be able to select them individually. So that's okay. I probably could have made those a bit smaller. I'll show you the diagram again. You can't see them very well, but they're there, and there is a line in there, and that's what I've got right here. Hopefully not too big. Now where does that leave me? Let's just focus on this piece here and look from the front and come in wireframe and get rid of these vertices here. Make sure I got it all though. And put a mirror on that. I'll turn on clipping so that I only have to UV unwrap one half, and I'll just mirror it so I get better use of my UV space. And yeah, okay, let's make this a little sharper by bringing in an edge loop here, and I may bring one more down there. Keep it at 3. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm just thinking, yeah, do that. Okay, let's put mirrors on and have one more look at this. Oh yeah, I guess I was thinking that. See, I can do all these things, but this thing, I'm not going to do that, and so I'm going to do a slightly different design. So let's just come in here and bring the 3D cursor here. I think this is the last thing I want to do. Rotate X 90 and just find a place for it. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be symmetrically in between these cylinders or anything. But, all right, it could be like a rectangle. Okay, vertex selection and Shift Control B to bevel, pull. This time I want 5 and select it, and then I'm going to hit inset, hold down Shift. Where's Shift? Just pull it in just a little bit, not too much. Get rid of that face, select the whole thing, pull it out, and then E to extrude, give it a bit of thickness, depth, whatever. Select it all, Alt N, recalculate outside, because my poly's may have been flipped. Pull it in, and then select, let's turn the mirror off and just focus on these two things. Okay, select this guy and do a Boolean. Pull it up to the top on difference, and with the not close, and with the eyedropper select that, and you can apply that and delete that. Have a look at this, and you'll notice that this is red, so it's not going to do the Boolean very well. So let's make sure that that is flipped, and we should be good to go. Okay, so select this thing. We're on difference with the eyedropper. Select this guy, and it's gone wacko, so that's okay. We'll fix that up, and some of it may be fixed up when I do the bevel right now. Control B, and see, I only need 2, 3. Okay, it's not quite nice yet, so we're going to add the weighted normal and normal auto smooth, and it should be just fine. Let's bring everything else back and take this and mirror that. So if it ever doesn't work, just have a look at your polys, make sure they're facing the right way. Now that is pretty much it. Now what I will be doing probably is this. I'll be copying this down once it's textured. It's going to have a black texture, so I'll be able to manipulate it even though there's a texture on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that to there, and actually I want to just focus on this one. I want this separated. I'm probably going to delete this right after. I'm going to come in here, come under to one of these edges that I beveled, just like that. Select that one, and I'm going to extrude it down. And then I'm going to come in here and, well, maybe I'll keep this and just put it off to the side. I'm going to dissolve those edges. What's going on here? This one and this one. Just dissolve those edges. And we're going to make like a little thing, because I may not make food or anything, and I don't, if I hide that, I don't want this stuff showing. So this is going to be like a piece that fits in there. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm just going to scale it in a little bit, and look from the front and wireframe, and box select there, get rid of those faces, box select again, I'm going to pull it down to about there. You'll never look any deeper in there. Why would you be looking that deep? And then it's just a question of if I want to pull that out. If I do put a subdivision on, it may poke out a little bit, so I might, and I probably will put it on just for the fun. So I might do that, and then come in here and come up by 1 or something and Alt S. Let's see which way do I gotta go. Just extend it a little bit more, and it still may be maybe sticky. Yeah, I may have to do that. So I may come back and grab it and then Alt S again and just do this. They don't have to be the exact same size. So, you know, and then I probably would end up putting an edge loop coming up anyhow, just to tighten that up. So I could have that, and I could control one there if I wanted to. And there will be one more down, so I guess I'll just show you for the fun of it. Shift D, I'll pull that down here, and let's break that out. And focus on this and this with the slash key. Let's look from the top and just focus on that, or select that, scale it out, and maybe I would pull it down a bit. Okay, so I'd have that. And then the final thing is I might have a piece of glass in here, and if I do, the way I would make that is I would just select an edge, Shift D, pull it up. Let me save, P and break it out. This does not need a subdivision surface on it. Probably doesn't need this either. I would just pull that down and then extrude up like that and shade smooth and put a glass that would work in Eevee. I might, if I care enough about it, I might extrude this in a little further or scale it in. I mean, you never get a look under it like that anyhow. And I might make a little handle on this so that you would come up to it and, you know, pull it down. You'd pull it down, put your garbage in, release it, and it would come up. And that actually block the smell and stuff and the sight of the garbage. But that is it. When I come over to the matte caps and just choose a matte cap, I see discoloration here. So you just select the whole model, Alt-N, recalculate outside. Some of my polys were flipped. Alright, so that's the model right there. And in the next video, I will do the texturing and we'll be good to go. Thanks for watching.